All right, it is the festive season and it certainly was all celebrations for West Indies duo Hayley Matthews and Dotin as they lifted the Women's Big Bash League trophy with their Melbourne Renegades team beating Brisbane Heat in the final on Friday night, Caribbean time, under the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. Matthews stroked 69 of 61 deliveries with help from Georgia Wareham, who scored 21 to push the Renegades to 141 for 9 after 20 overs. A rain delay to start the Heat's chase resulted in an adjusted target of 98 from 12 overs, but an exceptional bowling performance led by player of the match Matthews, 2 for 24, and Dotin 1 for 13, restricted Brisbane Heat to 90 for 6 of their allotment, giving the Renegades the 7-run win. Well, Matthews shared her delight in winning the title.
I think it's massive. Obviously, so many of these girls in the group have been around here from WBBL 1 and they've worked so hard. I think we've shown so much character within the team to be able to come here and turn it around after the last 2 years. So everyone here thoroughly deserves it, so it's pretty big.
One of the pillars of the Renegades seems to be fun. How much fun did you have over the last month or so?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's really hard to look past fun when we've got a head coach like Helmo. But now we've been able to enjoy our cricket, and I think that's one of the things that's really helped us to be able to play better as well.
All right, let's now get the reactions of both captains.
Congratulations to the Renegades girls. Soph, Helmo, you had a hell of a season and you really deserve it. Obviously a really special moment for your first title as well. So congratulations and well played today.
It's a real honour. The club means so much to me. That group of people over there mean so much to me, and I just care a lot about the club. There's so many good people in there, and I'm just really happy for everyone involved, all the people behind the scenes. Our GM, Rocket, who's just done endless work to get the list and to look after us as well as he has. Just so happy for our staff, but yeah, it does mean a lot.
Wow. Well, what a fairy tale ending for the West Indies women. Dotin back in and, of course, getting the job done along with Hayley Matthews. But how brilliant was Hayley? Let's start with her.
Oh, she was fantastic throughout the entire tournament, I think. And it's significant because it continues to demonstrate that she is one of the very best in the world, both with bat and the ball. And she demonstrated that throughout the course of the tournament. 324 runs, 14 wickets, 6th among run scorers, 7th among wicket takers in the tournament. And significantly, you look at the last 2 innings that she played, the one to guarantee the Melbourne Renegades place in the final where she scored 60, and then in the final when she scored the 69. But I was most impressed, Mariah, with how she performed in the final, because the Renegades were in trouble early.
Correct.
And they lost, 3 wickets up top, including Dotin, who was run out. Maybe her fault. Should not be run out that way in my estimation, but yes. But the way that Hayley batted in that innings, understanding her significance as the leader of that batting unit, understanding the moment that it was a big final and she needed to anchor the innings, and she did it brilliantly, and she picked her moments and she batted until the 20th over, and it was a fabulous knock as far as I am concerned. But she does have a knack, Mariah, of coming up big in finals. Remember the 2016 T20 World Cup that the West Indies won over Australia. Remember last year CPL as well, where she scored, I think it was 85 or 86. So
she leads by example.
Yeah.
And I think, Ricardo, that requires a different sort of strength and mental fortitude, because it's one thing to put up performances when it don't matter. But when your entire team is depending on you, and Hayley has been doing that from a little girl. And I think that's really what sets her apart from all the other cricketers. She comes up when it matters most, and I just want to add, she's been doing that from a little Hayley, not from now.
Yeah. And significantly as well, that she said she was a little tired after the World T20 tournament when the West Indies lost out at the semi-final stage in a really close match to New Zealand, similar to what happened to her last year. And she had played for the West Indies against Australia last year, moved right into the WBBL season and didn't have a great campaign because apparently she was fatigued and struggled throughout the tournament. And after the World Cup this time, she called up the Renegades coach and she said, listen, I am a little tired. I want to miss the first game. She was able to go back home to Barbados, spend 4 or 5 days with her family, rejuvenate, and then go to Australia. And we see the results of that. A terrific tournament from this West Indies all-rounder.
Yeah, and just a quick comment, Ricardo, on Deandra Dotin, because, I mean, it's not a secret she would have stepped away from international cricket. She comes back in. I think it's great to be on a team with a player like Hayley Matthews, because a Dotin and a Hayley, you know, of course, a lot of firepower and everything. So apart from getting run out in the final, but she had a fairly good competition as well.
Yeah, decent tournament. I mean, what stood out for me when it comes to Deandra Dotin wasn't even her batting. We know what she is capable of in that department, but it was the bowling, because we know that since her shoulder injury, or because of the shoulder injury, she hadn't been bowling as consistently as the West Indies would like her to be. And even going into the T20 World Cup, we were not sure how much bowling she would be able to do.
We were worried, actually.
She did do some amount of bowling. And then in this WBBL, she did even more bowling, picked up 10 wickets in the tournament. So I feel that is good, not just for the Renegades in helping them to win the title, but for the West Indies going forward as well. And even as they think about the India tour that is coming up over the Christmas holidays.
Yeah, well, good to know Deandra Dotin is coming back to full fitness. And just to add, competitions like the Big Bash League, you know, it's one of my dreams to see a lot more of our West Indies players take part in competitions like this. It is the pinnacle of competition when you think about women and women's cricket. And I'm just hoping that, you know, when players like Dotin and, of course, Hayley Matthews go out and make their marks, that it has the selectors and the coaches, you know, looking at some of the younger Windies players and, you know, maybe giving them a nudge to, of course, come and even train with the players.
I tell you something, Mariah, when the West Indies dominated men's cricket in the 1980s and early 90s, a lot of the top players played counter cricket in England. When West Indies dominated T20 cricket and won 2 World Cups, the players were all playing IPL cricket in India. So you think about Jamaica's net bowlers, for example, and their rise in the game. Where are they playing? They're playing top-level club netball in Australia and England against the best week in, week out. So this is good. What you now want is for more West Indies women's cricketers to be able to move into these WBBL. Into these tournaments and the WIPL and so on, so that they can get the experience and they can see how the best train and prepare for matches and so on. It can only help the game in the region, I think.
Yeah, it's so important for sure. And that's one of the questions I always tend to ask players like Hayley, you know, how much it has really assisted her game. And, you know, she's all for it. On that note, we're going to wrap up this WBBL segment, take a break, and I'll come back with Zone Update 2.